GIS Level 1, Exercise 2, QGIS. Data can be symbolized in a variety of ways depending on the data format and the available attributes. In this exercise, we'll learn how to change how different types of data are symbolized in QGIS. We'll start by learning how to change a single symbol. Let's turn off everything except for the Cambridge restaurant. We can also leave our base map on there as well. Double-click on the Cambridge restaurants layer and select the Symbology tab. If you click the text to highlight Simple Marker, you'll then have options below for how you want to represent each restaurant as a point. You can change the size or the color. And there's a lot more you can do as well. You can change the outline, you can change the style, or you could change the shape. Once you're finished, click OK. Now we can see that each restaurant in Cambridge, Massachusetts, United States, is represented by a red star. What if you want to symbolize different types of data with different symbols rather than all the same symbol? Next, we'll talk about how to symbolize categorical data. We're going to do that with the MBTA lines, which you may recall from before are the MBTA arc data layer. So let's turn off the restaurants and turn on the MBTA arc data layer. Right-click on MBTA arc and select Properties. Make sure the Symbology tab is selected as well. From the drop-down at the menu at the top, we'll change from Single Symbol to Categorized. This means that each value in a particular column of the attribute table will be assigned a unique color, pattern, etc. We'll want to symbolize the subway lines based on the color that they've been assigned by the transit system. This is where the data layer was downloaded from, and it actually includes the metadata for the data. If we scroll down, here's the data layer we downloaded, MBTA arc, and here's the different attribute table columns. We can see that in line, there are categories for blue, green, orange, red, and silver, which are the colors of the subway lines in Boston. So now we can go back to QGIS and color code these based on what's in this attribute table column. From the value, we'll remember that we want to select line based on what the metadata said. Then click the Classify button. This pulls out all the unique values from the rows for this particular column in the attribute table. QGIS randomly assigned colors to the different types of subway lines. We'll want to change these so that they actually match the color of the line. You can do that by double-clicking on the symbol to open the properties of it. You can then click on the color options and select whatever color you want. You can pause the video here and change the colors for all the lines. Now that you've changed all the colors so they correspond to the information from the attribute table, click OK. The lines are a little bit difficult to see with our base map, so let's turn it off. And let's right-click on the MBTA arc and select Zoom to Layers to center it. We can now see that each line in the subway system is represented by the appropriate color. Next, we'll talk about making choropleth maps, which you may remember are used to symbolize quantitative data. Let's turn off our MBTA arc and turn on the Cambridge demographics. Zoom to it to center it. Again, let's double-click on it and make sure the Symbology menu is selected. From the drop-down menu, select the Graduated option. From the Value drop-down menu, you can see there are a variety of columns in our attribute table, but we actually don't know what these mean. There is a text file in the data folder that you downloaded for this workshop that includes the metadata for these columns. Open that now. Here are what all these column headings mean. You can see we have a few different types of demographic data that we can symbolize. So think about which one you would like to create a map using. You can only symbolize one column at a time. Back in the Symbology tab, choose the column that you would like to symbolize. I'll choose value 2, which is median household income. Similar to what you did for the categorical data, click the Classify button. QGIS has grouped the different median income values into ranges. Right now, it's using equal count, which you may remember from the lecture, means that there are an equal number of rows, which in this case represent a different polygon, in each of these categories. Feel free to experiment with different types of classification using the Mode menu, different numbers of classes, or different color schemes. You can use this precision box to increase or decrease the number of decimal places. Because there is nothing other than 0 after the decimal place, I'm going to decrease mine to have no decimals. Click OK when you're happy with your choices. You can now see in the Layers pane on the left the different numeric ranges that we created show up as legends. We can also easily see on the map the areas that have the highest income, which are represented by the darker red, and the lower income, which is represented by this white. Finally, we will symbolize our raster data. You can turn off your demographic data layer and turn on your Cambridge DEM, which you may remember is the elevation values in the city of Cambridge. Right-click on it and open the Symbology tab. Notice that there are different options for symbolizing raster data versus vector data. The data are currently symbolized as a single band gray, which assigns a continuous color scheme from the minimum value up to the maximum value. Single band gray works well for this numeric data. The paletted or unique values option works well when you have categorical data, such as land use, where each number represents a different type of land use. In this case, we'll keep our gray color scheme. Click OK when you're finished. Now that you know how to symbolize your data, you can proceed to the final exercise. Really get extra practice symbolizing new data and learn how to create a layout for printing and exporting your map. You can close QGIS now.